What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona. If you are thinking about moving to Arizona or you are looking to live in Arizona, this is a good channel for you because we go into things related to Arizona from Phoenix, Tucson, all the way on down to Flagstaff and who knows where, right? We'll talk about it. And actually, today we're going to be answering a question from Gypsy Gina. She says, "Hi, new to your channel. Glad I found it. You got some very informative information. I appreciate it. Looking for looking to move down there sometime early 2019. Just wondering if you could tell me or possibly make a video about rental houses. Reason why I ask is you said Snowbirds. I know a lot of them on condos, but own condos, but I'm just wondering what the rental housing looks like. I'm not interested in condos, but definitely rental houses. Otherwise, just shoot me a message." All right. So this is a good question because what she's saying is, how's the rental situation? Is because the snowbirds leave in the summertime, does that make it more affordable because do they flood the market with rentals, right? But also it could be another, on the flip side, there could be lower demand or higher demand and lower supply in the winter. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Number one is if you're trying to find rental properties in Arizona, it's going to vary on areas, right? So the more rural pushed out you go towards, like, let's just say Santan Valley or Queen Creek, the price is going to be cheaper than if you try to go into Gilbert or Chandler or Ahwatukee. This kind of stuff is just really related to Phoenix, but the same kind of a thing applies in all across Arizona. But some of the resources that you can use are going to be like, there's apartmentlist.com if you're looking for apartments. Okay, you would just search in the Phoenix metropolitan area. You can also check if you're looking for homes. You can check on rent.com or Zillow. You can even go on old-fashioned Craigslist, right? Hot pads, there's different websites that you can go on. There's also, if you're looking for a short-term but not a too long-term rental, also check Airbnb, right? That's always an option. Now, if you're curious about what the price would be, well, like I said, it's going to depend on the area. If you're looking at South Mountain, which is not a really desirable area to be in, but not too shabby, you can find a 4-bedroom house, 3 beds, $1,545. That's less than my mortgage, right? Now, you can also find these kind of homes, $1,800 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's smaller than my house and more than my mortgage. So sometimes it might be worth it to consider buying. If you qualify, consider buying. My brother's a real estate agent. He helped me get set up. He knows all the people to get pre-qualified and all that. And then he helped me get my house. But I move fast. I don't usually like to search around too much. So once I know a general area where the price is and that I want to live, I'll just go for it. But prices do vary around the valley. If you're looking for apartments, Scottsdale is going to be more expensive than, say, Phoenix, or Tempe is going to be maybe less ritzy or less luxurious because it's college central, right? But there's going to be more things to do down there. Downtown Phoenix has come up. If you're looking for places to live and things to do, downtown Phoenix, it's a little bit pricey, but you're going to be right in the heart of downtown Phoenix, right? If you're just looking to live in Phoenix and take the freeways to work or something, maybe you would consider something like Queen Creek or Santan Valley, or even Peoria or Glendale on the west side. So Santan Valley, Queen Creek, Gilbert, Chandler, that's East Valley. West Valley is Glendale, Peoria. Peoria is also growing quite a bit. If you could be in Glendale or Peoria, that's a pretty good area to be. It's right there on the 101. You can slingshot around the whole Valley of Phoenix. But I think the sports teams and all that, they're over in Glendale, which is west side. But I think because the college is over here, Tempe is kind of like, as far as like places to be in Phoenix, if you were to say like the maybe top 7 places you'd want to try to look in Phoenix for quality of life, you'd probably look Scottsdale, Tempe, Chandler, Glendale, Peoria, Phoenix, Paradise Valley. Okay? But Peoria is pretty darn nice. I mean, you could even say Gilbert and Chandler definitely rank up there. I personally like Queen Creek, but it's kind of far away right now. There's no freeway down here, but I mean, within 15 to 20 minutes, you can be on the freeway that's circling the valley, the Loop 101. But as far as rentals go, I mean, definitely, if money is an issue and you don't mind roommates, you could find a pretty good situation on Craigslist or something. Now, obviously, there's disclaimers with that, and I'm not so sure that that's necessarily the safest thing, but, I've heard stories, but for the most part, I think people transact on Craigslist pretty frequently and don't have issues, but you can go right on there and look, maybe someone's looking for a roommate. You can also find rentals on Craigslist, but if you're with a family or you're just a bachelor or bachelorette looking for a place to live, for bachelors and bachelorettes, probably to rent Tempe, Scottsdale, that's right in the heart of it. Maybe downtown Phoenix. Peoria is more for families. Queen Creek's more for families. Gilbert's more for families. But if you're single, you want to look around Scottsdale, Tempe, and, that kind of area. Tempe, Scottsdale is probably the heartbeat of the valley if you're single. In downtown Phoenix, yeah, there's a little bit to do down there. People also like this area called Arcadia. Arcadia is nice because it's kind of on the fringe of Scottsdale, Tempe, Paradise Valley, Phoenix. It's on the fringe of Scottsdale, Tempe, and Phoenix, right there at the base of Camelback Mountain, Arcadia. So if you're single and you're maybe in your mid to late 20s, early 30s, check out Arcadia for sure, because it's like the step above Tempe. That's in the area of the Biltmore. So it's like after you graduate college, you would move to Arcadia, is probably what I would say. Now, if you're really looking to get away from the city and nightlife's not your thing, you could also consider places like, I like North Scottsdale. You have Scottsdale Road, Scottsdale and Bell. That's a pretty nice area. That's a little bit further. That's about 20 minutes away from downtown Scottsdale. It's by the air park, actually. So that's I think they call it Desert Ridge. They have DC Ranch. That's just a nice area. I would say that's even one step above Arcadia. If you've got the money, you would check out like the DC Ranch, Greyhawk area, just north of the 101 off of Scottsdale Road, and maybe around Union Hills, that kind of area. I really like that area. But I still think that Peoria and Glendale's up and coming. You even have a place called Surprise. Believe it or not, people like Surprise. If you're an elderly person, Sun City Grand, Sun City West, Sun City, that's where the retirement communities are in Phoenix. That's West Phoenix, out there by Surprise and El Mirage, Youngtown. It's a little bit beyond Peoria. And so, yeah, it's basically Phoenix. If you wanted to talk about Tucson, you've got, the University of Arizona. You've got some things down there to consider. You got Mount Lemmon. You've got Sabino Canyon, which is more for families. But Tucson's up and coming. Then you have some cities in between Tucson and Phoenix, like Casa Grande, which we can talk about a little bit more in video. I've been getting some questions about that. Also, even another place that's outside of Phoenix that you might consider that's kind of up and coming really is Wickenburg. So you have Wickenburg, which used to be way, way, way out there. It's even beyond Lake Pleasant, is now starting to come onto the radar as a place to go. So they've got Whitman and Wickenburg. That's off of the US 60. You would go beyond Sun City and head up towards Wickenburg, and it's coming up on the radar. Another place to consider that is up and coming, definitely Prescott Valley, Cottonwood, that area. They call that the Verde Valley, okay? The Verde Valley, Cornville, Sedona, and Flagstaff. They've got some pretty decent rentals. If you wanted to know what the average rental cost is in a place like Flagstaff, which is, you have to take into consideration also that it's NAUs up there, so it is a college town. So there's going to be those kind of variables in play. And if we just look at the average price here, Flagstaff appears to be a little bit cheaper than Phoenix in some parts. You can find a house for $1,000 a month rental. It's not going to be the best house, but it's 3 beds, 1 bath. But then there's also high-end places in Scottsdale or Flagstaff that will break your bank, right? So if you're thinking about Sedona's pretty expensive actually. I don't think a lot of people realize how expensive Sedona is, but you can find some decent prices for rentals over there. And if we just drill it down, I mean, there's a studio there for $950 a month right there in Sedona. Okay, $1,000 a month for another 1 bedroom, 1 bath. For a 2 bedroom, 2 bath house, $1,500. For a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, which is pretty upscale, $2,395. Still cheaper than California, right? Then if you wanted something a little bit more luxurious and a little bit more high end, you would be looking at maybe around about $3,500 for a 2 bedroom, 2 bath. But that's really luxurious. You can also find a 2 bedroom, 2 bath for $1,500. The average rental price in something like Prescott, I think Prescott's going to be a little bit more affordable than even Flagstaff and Sedona. Looks like the average price there is going to be around about $1,300 to $1,400. So that's a pretty good deal, right? It's not going to break the bank, and that's for a decent home. That's like a nice home, like you would find in Santan Valley. It seems like it's a little bit cheaper up there than the Phoenix metro area. Now they also have some really expensive nice houses, some real nice houses for $1,750. I mean, this house I'm looking at right now is really nice up in Prescott for $1,750, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. So that's pretty encouraging if you're looking to move to Prescott. If you're looking to move to someplace like, let's take a look at the average price in Tucson. If we were to say, this would probably be a more in-depth video if you guys really wanted it, comparing Phoenix and Tucson, because that is something that people would like to know. But I would say, based on initial review, they're pretty comparable, but it's looking like you can find a little bit more affordable living probably in Tucson. Tucson's not super high priced, but then you've got, like I said, you've got Oro Valley up in the north, you've got the Catalina foothills. Those places are going to be more expensive than, say, central Tucson, right? Where you've got, places you can get 2 beds, 1 bath for $800. That's not too bad. But central Tucson's where the cheap houses are. It's kind of like central Phoenix, but not as hood. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think of the prices. If you guys want me to make a video like I just made for Gypsy Gina, and so yeah, go ahead and drop a comment, and thank you to everyone who's been liking these videos and subscribing to this channel. I'll keep them coming if you guys keep watching. Oh.